Hey guys, so I said I was going to share kind of this journey that I'm on, and enough people were like, yeah, I want to hear about what's going on, that I'm actually just going to do it. And there's so much backstory, I can't even begin to go into all of it right now. So what I'll do is just give you an overview of kind of what this whole thing's about, and then talk about different little pieces of it that have already happened, things I'm doing now and in the future, and yeah. So here's the deal. Just the brief overview. Um, I am currently living in Montana, and I moved here in December 31st, technically, right? Barely at the end of the year. Anyway, before I moved here, it was for a job transfer for Chad, and I said, yeah, cool. Like, looked online, tons of therapist jobs, tons, and they were open for a long time. Like, they weren't being filled, and I went, this is crazy. Pays really good, especially with cost of living. I was like, this is going to be a pretty good bump. So anyway, it was still terrifying to leave Utah, leaving my kiddos, leaving friends, leaving family, everyone I know, and doing something just crazy. But for a lot of you who know me, I have always wanted to live just like country, have horses, live simple, and that was not going to happen in Utah. So I always encourage my clients, like, hey, take a risk, right? If you want something bad enough, weigh it out, pros and cons, like, is it worth taking the risk? So I did that, scared to death to do it, but I did it, and thought I weighed out everything. And well, I did. It was just that all the information wasn't really available. So yeah, right. I always, like I said, I always say, what's the worst that can happen, right? If things don't work out the way you expect. Fortunately, well, actually, fortunately, I chose to do what I see is you have one of two options, right? I can either roll over and just play dead and be frustrated with the situation and the way things didn't work out, or I can do the other, which is say, to hell with it, I'm going to rise to the occasion and I'm going to do something amazing with this. So option 2 is what I took, and it's interesting. Anyway, so just to kind of explain, I moved down here. I'm like, okay, finding a job, no problem. Took forever to get my license to go through. That was kind of a nightmare, but I thought, okay, once that happens, got a job offer right away. Good paid job offer. So that was pretty cool. Until I got an email that said, you're planning on getting your LCSW or LCPC license, right? No. No, on my resume, in the interview, my transcripts, everything we talked about said I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. Not sure why that would be a question. But then it turns out it made sense, sort of, because licensed marriage and family therapists in Montana aren't, they're not really a thing. So the last count that I got was there are 3 of us. I'm number 3 in the state that don't have a dual licensure. You're wondering why? Because in Montana, marriage and family therapists cannot be reimbursed by Medicaid or Medicare. The license was just recognized in 2009. So basically, just way behind as far as like the MFT stuff goes. So anyway, my goal when we moved here was to start my own practice, and being told there is not a job out there where you can actually work that's not private practice, pretty much, my hair's awesome, guys, don't mind that, pretty much catapulted me into the fast track of, hey, get this private practice thing up and running fast. So it hasn't been fast though, because I've been working on all kinds of stuff with this whole crazy MFT thing, which I'll explain more in another video. But as you can imagine, that felt pretty defeating. Like, okay, you're gonna start a private practice if you can work part-time somewhere, you know, supplement your income. Just kidding, you can't. Basically, you're not qualified to do anything with your degree in this state, not teach, not anything. So that was a fun discovery. Not fun. Anyway, I've been involved with some legislative stuff, and I'm going to continue to be doing that, really trying to do some stuff within the community, because if you're not aware, Montana has the highest suicide rate in the nation, and a shortage of mental health care providers. Fun fact. It seems like maybe letting MFTs work in the field would be helpful, because I think that's a pretty big deterrent for people when they find out that they have a master's degree that a state won't recognize, and they're going to have to take additional classes and tests. Not this girl, not happening. So that's kind of the overview. It's been crazy, and I've got a lot of really cool stuff in the works, and so yeah, but that's kind of a little bit of the backstory of the adventure, and I will do separate videos covering different things just to kind of fill you guys in for anything you're interested in knowing more about. Like I said, some people know a lot about this, others haven't really heard much of my story at all. It's been interesting, but like I said, I had 2 choices. I could give up and just say, screw it, I don't care, whatever. Like I said, 3, I could have decided to take additional classes and another exam and get my LCPC or LCSW, but I wasn't interested in that route. So 3rd option was, you know, life just handed you lemons. Okay, not pour tequila. Do something with it. So I am going to be doing all kinds of stuff, and I'm committed to making a difference in a community that desperately needs help. And yeah, so as far as what I'm doing, you'll have to tune back in. If you have questions about like any of the stuff I've already mentioned, or there's like pieces of it that you're like, what? Or Mandy, you're crazy, why don't you just do this? Feel free to comment them below. And yeah, I am happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep filling you guys in, and it'll be interesting. Y'all are gonna see some strange stuff and some funny stuff and some really sad stuff. But I think that I need to at least share my experience for the purpose of being authentic and just saying like, hey, look, I struggle too. It doesn't always work out when you take a risk. Or it doesn't work out the way you expect. But you know what? It's a choice. You can not try and just accept things the way they are, or you can take a risk, and if it blows up in your face, so to speak, you can decide what to do with that and move forward and hopefully rock it. So yeah, I will be keeping y'all posted, and I look forward to sharing my crazy adventure. Okay, till next time, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to follow this journey. Like I said, it'll be try that in English. It'll be interesting, I promise. Yeah, and I'll try to work on learning to talk. So, okay, till next time, guys.